imepotea tena.
It keeps coming and going.
So we are on to rugby. Now Rugby Africa president Herbert Mensah. Yes, Herbert Mensah. Unakumbuka time HSBC vile aliongea vizuri that we should not be in Division 2 and should rather be in Division 1.
Yes.
We can beat the All Blacks. We can beat the Le Blacks. That is where it should be. Now, Herbert Mensah is back again.
And this time,
unajua every time Herbert Mensah is on the mic, he says very nice things.
Ushabambika naye.
Alishani bamba because he's a good person to listen to. So anytime you hear him, he comes up with good things that you like to hear. Na hii kitu amesema leo inanibamba manze. So Rugby Africa president Herbert Mensah has hinted on the introduction of a regional 7s 15 tournaments for both the men and the women's. As a move to improve the quality of the sport in Africa.
Introduction of a regional 7s.
Yes. So in an interview with Zimbabwe, the Ghanaian who heads Rugby Africa said the continent has massive talent in rugby that need to be tapped.
Okay.
So recently in Rugby Africa, the AGM that was held in Uganda, Mensah also revealed that he had an extraordinary meeting with the official of national rugby unions from Zimbabwe, Kenya, Namibia, Uganda on the possibility of having an annual rugby tournaments for 7s and the 15s. So moving forward with the idea of a regional tournament, he also stated that he will soon create a committee that will roll out a competition space. So as Leonangalia Vitu, it looks like this is it's going to happen.
There's some words that are being used here that are making me very, very skeptical.
Why? Kwani Mensah kubambi?
No, sijasema ni bambi.
Oh, okay.
Lakini words zenye nasema kuna words zingine mimi nikisikia an African leader akisema ndo zinanipatia.
Why should you be
because
like
most
that?
of them don't live up to what they're saying because they say I hinted.
Wait, Okusimba, before you even proceed, why are you saying African leader? You know when you say African leader, the word African leader comes with a lot of negativity.
Yes, because African leaders have been known to be that way. I think you should be
specific, at least an African sports leader.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm just being skeptical because of what the African leaders have done to me.
Exactly.
In the past.
Okay.
So many promises, no fulfillment.
That's why you say an African leader. It brings so much negativity.
Because anasema he has hinted on introduction.
Yeah.
So you know what a hint is?
Yeah. but it's something that's on the works.
Okay.
Juu amesema.
Moving forward with the idea.
Okay.
Of a regional tournament.
I get you.
Mensah stated he will soon create a committee that will roll out the competition space. So he will soon. So how soon? You know, soon is such a derogatory term. I will soon come to your place.
You know, easy vitu tunaanza.
Louis, I will soon come to Obama.
No.
I will soon come to Obama.
Easy vitu tunaanza. You will soon come to Obama.
So how soon?
You're going to keep me waiting. So I'm like, I have to
mwezi huu
tomorrow because soon can be other tonight.
Nanielewa?
Yeah.
It's just out there.
I think I have
I need timelines.
I believe I have an idea of what Mensah is trying to do here. First, kitu ya kwanza, it's like anataka kuwaonjesha and he wants to see the perception and the reception actually that this idea will get.
Of course, we don't want it to remain an idea. We want it to come to fruition. We want it to happen on the ground.
Oh, you want it to happen like CAF wanasemanga. There will be an African Nations League from 2027 to 2028.
Yes. And then we are going to scrap this and start this from this year to this year. Unajua kama vile CAF wanafanya. We knew that the CHAN is over. There will be no more CHAN and it will be replaced by
the Nations League.
Nanielewa.
But you know, rugby is not as big as football in Africa.
But at least you should be as open and as clear with their path as a federation. This is a whole confederation of Africa.
But pe unaangalia financial muscle, you know, they just can't start it. So because he has said to materialize on the idea, Mensah said that there must be political goodwill, especially from governments of member states, in that they need help from these countries.
Sasa ukishaingiza tu governments of Africa. Tumeniona hapo sasa. Yeah. This idea might take even more than soon. African governments, first of all, in their own setup, are not stable.
Are not even stable. Yeah. And we have to just look at which African countries have like real rugby playing there. Because, we know Kenya, of course. We've got the Simbas, we've got the Shujas, we've got the Lioness.
We know the South Africans, we know there's
region kwetu kwanza East Africa.
Yes.
Because it is regional, so unaweza kuwa na East Africa region, South Africa, the West, Central.
We're trying to improve African rugby.
We're trying to improve African rugby. So we have to, Kenya tuko nayo. Let us just count how many countries in East Africa play like
serious rugby.
Kenya
ukishasema hivyo tunatoa Tanzania immediately.
Uganda Tanzania because
serious rugby.
They still have a long history in rugby, but then
serious
their rugby inachezwa huko, it's still at a developmental stage.
Sisi tuko tunaongea mambo serious.
Yeah. So in this region it's only Kenya and Uganda.
Sasa tucheza tu biannual games.
Hapana. Biannual games
sasa tucheza
na Uganda pekee
mara mbili kwa mwaka.
Sasa the thing is we should have a regional rugby tournament to integrate these other teams that are maybe hao ni watoto, because these teams will now have to play big countries like Kenya and Uganda and at least get the feeling that they are on an elite level.
Yes, you see what Mensa said, according to him the hosting costs should be picked up by the hosting nations.
Exactly.
Whereas the Rugby Africa would make sure the competition's quality. Mensa insisted of quality rugby teams, naming out Kenya and Uganda as world class in rugby 15s women. With the infrastructure developing in most countries in Africa, especially Africa rugby elites like Kenya, Raila Odinga International Stadium, rugby and football only stadiums like that one, Uganda's Nambole Stadium, there is Hoima City, Akibua Olympic Stadium. In Zimbabwe we have the Hartsfield Rugby Grounds undergoing rehabilitation, and Mount Hampton National Park, National Stadium, planned rehabilitation. Are the governments ready to commit to hosting rights? African governments.
I feel like we can. Okay, unaona yetu sasa. We should actually make it an East and Southern Africa thing, because not so many East African countries can play rugby. So it's only Kenya, to that level. So this means that we should also include powerhouses like Zimbabwe, South Africa, Namibia pia wako na rugby. So at least kuna a lot of big team players when it comes to introducing this regional thing ya rugby. And if we introduce an East and South and Southern thing, I believe this could work for us.
Do you have any like audio of what he spoke?
Yeah,
because
we do actually.
You're telling me, I want to hear him.
We do actually have an audio of what Mensa had to say.
I had an extraordinary meeting in Kampala at our AGM, and immediately they were talking about a regional sevens tournament. So a seventh circuit, HSBC, where we're now handling, and they all signed in. And regionally with the women, exactly the same. There's no reason why, both on 7s and 15s, that if we're picking up hosting costs, and that's why we need government assistance. So if you're going to have regional 7s or regional 15s, the hosting costs will be picked up. If it is Zimbabwe, if it is Namibia, if it is Uganda, if it is Kenya, etc., then it is you've got a quality of competition. Because if it's the 15s ladies, for example, Zimbabwe, high quality. Zambia, high quality. Namibia, very good quality. Kenya, world class. Uganda, approaching world class. So you've already got a 5-nation option, which is far better in terms of quality. I'm about to establish a new rugby committee, and I think the rollout in terms of competition space will be put there. Now, will we get sponsors? Will we get government commitment? Will we get investment in the schools? So there's a whole plethora of things that don't necessarily cost a lot, but you need that political commitment to say, yes, this makes sense. We're going to move in that direction.
Do about Mensa. You wanted to hear from the man,
from
and there you've heard from the man.
So the only impediment I have with all these dreams he has and all these
you're calling them dreams.
Yes, because you know why I'm calling them dreams. Because he's focused as a leader, he's showing us the way forward, he has vision, but he needs help from the political
class
and
governments
in this Africa.
But he should have help.
This African
like
leaders.
I said, kuna economical constraints in
rugby. And I'm point out Kenya, countries zile ziko na rugby decent, nasema Zimbabwe, Namibia, Zambia, nimesikia Zambia, nimesikia South Africa, nimesikia
Zimbabwe.
Kenya. Zimbabwe,
Namibia
nimesema. Akasema Kenya is world class.
And that's the same thing that I was saying. Yes. In order to make this work, East and Southern Africa regions inafai kuwe kitu kimoja, because when we unite, ndio at least unafeel kuna decent teams that can actually play rugby. And as he had said, this is not only a dreams, like you have said, a dream.
It needs political goodwill.
It needs political goodwill for it to work.
From a dream to what? To
a reality. And viwanja vipo, kuna Nambole, kuna Hoima City, the Talanta Stadium, aka Raila Odinga. South Africa has a lot of stadiums. Zimbabwe has Hartsfield Rugby Grounds. I mean, this is actually a thing that can work. We just need these governments to step up and work hand in hand.
Political goodwill.
And work hand in hand with Rugby Africa. Yes. Then we can see all these dreams, like you have said, expected for Herbert Mensah
Come
in
true.
real actualization.
Absolutely sensational. SportyFM, beyond sport.